Hi, friends. Welcome to our weekly pastor's update. Reverend Seeley wrote our bulletin this week, and it reads, "Here we are in Lent." Can you hear the excitement and how I wrote that? That's because at Spiritus, Lent is so much more than a time of giving something up. Many of us experience it. Many of us experience it as a special season of deepening and greater commitment in our life of faith. In the early church, these 40 days were a time when Jesus' followers took inventory of their lives and asked in a serious way how they were doing with the basic Christian discipleship, how they were doing with leading a life of nonviolence, personal, social, and societal, how they were doing with practicing forgiveness, with practicing altruism, making it a priority to serve, with giving generously, with being in solidarity with the poor, with loving radically. May we embrace the same questions today. There are many great opportunities coming up to help inspire you. And as you do so, you can see the other news section of the bulletin this week and in our e-bulletin. Lent is also a season where many folks enjoy picking up a weekday mass. This is a wonderful way to pause and reground oneself in God in the midst of a busy day. So you can attend any of our weekday masses. They're listed in the bulletin this week. In addition to the foundational Christian practices of prayer and fasting and almsgiving, we strive to live out during this season in a special way. It's also a nice time to dive into some spiritual reading. So here are a few reads in the Back to Basics category, in case you feel drawn to them. You could try the book called Jesus, A Historical Approximation by Jose Pagola, or Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time by Marcus Borg, What Makes Us Catholic by Thomas Groome, What is the Bible by Ron Bell, or How to Read the Bible by Harvey Cox, The Christian Art of Forgiveness by Jake Morrill, The Beatitudes of Peace by John Deere, The Biblical Vision of Sabbath Economics by Ched Myers, or The Challenge and Spirituality of Catholic Social Teaching by Marvin Mitch. And finally, New Seeds of Contemplation by Thomas Merton. Thursday night masses during Lent are preceded by a soup supper at 6 and features guest speakers. Our first guest is Reverend Michael Wolf. Michael was in Reverend Seeley's cohort at Harvard Divinity School. He's a longtime leader in the sanctuary movement and the author of the book Sanctuary and Subjectivity, Thinking Theologically About Whiteness in Sanctuary Movements. His church in Chicago recently declared itself a refuge for undocumented people, and you can read about their stance at the link that's included in the bulletin this week. In this time, when welcoming the strangers of practice so much on all of our minds, he is an inspiring voice to hear. So we hope you can join us at Thursday Night Mass on March 13th. Please save the date for the Prison Outreach Gala on March 29th. Every day, I am proud of the countless ways this ministry saves lives for people who have encountered incarceration, addiction, and homelessness. The gala reminds me of what I imagine parties with Jesus to have been like. A whole cross-section of people from all walks of life, with the places of honor held by those who've traveled a hard road, feasting and dancing the night away. We invite you to please join us on March 10th at 7 p.m. for our next Parish Community Forum. Mother Earth will be presenting about the Zero Waste Initiative for our parish. Gary and Barb Domenico will be presenting about a promising program called Care Portal. And we send our condolences this week to the family of Sue Conalog, who died this week. And we send them to Jerry Doak on the death of his father, and to Vic Del Pozo on the death of his father. Well, friends, I pray that you get a chance to be with God as we kick off this Lenten season. And until then, I will see you next week for our weekly pastor's update. Take care.